All right, everybody. Hey, it's Daniel with Premier Water Tanks. I've got our very own water truck doctor with us, Hunter Gustafson, and we're heading out to the back of our yard here at the facility, and we wanted to go over some things with you guys. Not all of our customers have the luxury of living in a climate where it's always warm like we are here in Florida. So your trucks have been sitting. Hopefully you've winterized them. You're getting ready for the season, and it's a great opportunity to go over some preseason inspection checkpoints and get your truck serviced for the big season ahead. So, Hunter, you ready to go over some stuff?
Let's do it. I'm
get
ready.
Going on it? All right, let's get going, guys.
All right, so first thing we're gonna do an inspection on this off-road water truck. We're also gonna do on-roads, but we're doing off-roads first. What I'm looking for, especially since these trucks have been sitting over the winter, is freeze damage. So right off the bat, you can see this 1.5-inch ball valve right here is split, it's leaking. Very common point, brass is soft metal, so very common to see that brass ball valve split. Another spot I'm looking for is right here on this 4x3 Berkeley type pump. This is a very, very common spot where once this gets water and it freezes, it's gonna split right off. Another thing I'm gonna look at too while I'm down here, as you can see, it's starting to leak water right here on this main seal bearing. So when this seal is starting to go out, that means, yes, it's gonna function, but eventually this will fail in the field. So important to grease your water pump every 8 hours in service. And now we're gonna head up to the center of the truck. Next order of business for inspecting after your harsh winter, this water level sensor. So I'm gonna take this off, pretty easy. Inspecting it, a little bit of condensation water, I would definitely recommend. This was your unit. Spray it off with some electrical cleaner, maybe some dielectric grease. Water and electricity doesn't exactly mix very well. We're gonna hop in the cab. I already checked and made sure this tank has no water in it, so we're gonna check the water level gauge in the cab and make sure it's reading correctly. All right, so the sensor's behind me. We're gonna check the gauge in the cab. We're gonna turn the ignition on because our water level gauges are wired key hot. As you can see, it's reading completely full. So we already know that tank is empty, is reading completely full. Most likely the sensor is bad. When you're going through freezes, that's usually the result is damaging the sensor. So we know that. We've got a video below for you instructing you how to reset this water level gauge. If the reset doesn't work, you don't have a connection problem, you already cleaned your connection, most likely your sensor is bad. With that being said, we're going to go over the rest of the spray components when we're inspecting our water tanks. All right, so that about does it for all of our winterization failures. One thing we did not go over was the spray heads, and that's because simply they're located higher than everything else in a water tank. Not very common to see a winterization fail on a hydraulic spray head, but if you do, very simple. You got 8 bolts to take it apart, inspect it, see if the diaphragm's torn. But while we are here and we're inspecting this before you put it back on your job site, just want to show you this hydraulic cylinder on this left rear spray head versus center rear and right rear spray head. Clearly leaking, and that is such an easy fix. We've got the entire spray head in stock at Premier. We've also got the cylinder and the seals. So before this goes on a job site, I would definitely recommend whatever you're choosing. If you want to do the whole spray head and get everything brand new, or just the seals, we've got it in stock for you. All right, so we wrapped up the off-road inspection. We're going to move on to the on-road now. Now, a little bit different things on these on-roads and off-roads. A little bit does carry over, but let's go over it. This ball valve located much higher, so less likely to freeze, but still possibly can freeze. So I'd inspect this. Definitely inspecting my water pump, making sure there's no stress fractures or freeze fractures in this casing. As you can see, this one's not. I'm also just checking to see if there's water leaking between that mechanical seal and the shaft itself. Another thing that I would inspect before I put this truck in the field is definitely the Cyclone hydraulic canister. So as you can see right there, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's kind of towards the middle. I would rather see that to the top when I'm sending this out to the field, because much lower than that, once it gets closer about to that made in USA on the sight glass, that is going to kill the entire hydraulic system. So that being said, we're going to move to the front of the truck. So in our travels on the on-road water trucks, we're not seeing a lot of freeze damage on the back of the tank. I would say 90% of freeze damage is right here. This is the lowest point on the on-road water tank. This is caused by not draining your tank before winter. Most likely, you're going to see it literally bust right off. The groove lock will stay on. This will bust right off. A couple times too, you'll see this band right here at the top bust off. Not as common, more likely right here. But before you're putting this truck in service, I definitely recommend checking these two front sprayers. Rear sprayer's not as common, again, elevated. Now you can prevent this. There's a 5/8 garden spigot on the driver's side when you're climbing in the truck. Hit that drain, let it drain out. We've also got two 3-inch drains on both sides of the tank to conveniently drain the tank, the water out of the tank quicker. But yeah, this is really the only thing I'm inspecting here. If this diaphragm is damaged or spray head is damaged, we have videos online coaching you how to rebuild or fix the spray head. All right, so we're done with the inspection. Let's go over service. Every video we put out there, we're definitely hitting on greasing your water pump every hour. So assuming you've greased your water pump, as far as the hydraulics, right now is the time. Your truck's been sitting, there's condensation from the winter. You know, the heat, we're relying on that heat to burn up the condensation in the oil. So it's been sitting. So we recommend you change the hydraulic oil and hydraulic filter annually. So right now, springtime, that's the time. So call Premier, order your filter. We've got these in stock. Another thing we're doing is we're draining this hydraulic tank. So we've got a convenient drain right here. You know, it really doesn't hurt to crack open this return line right here on the side of the sprinkler motor. Drain every bit of hydraulic oil you can. Now, the cyclone is 1 gallon. The whole system should be 2.5 gallons roughly. So, man, that's what's so nice about it. We're able to keep nice clean oil in all of our expensive components and only put 2.5 gallons in the filter. Other than that, check inside your tank, make sure there's no foreign debris and contaminants, and we're ready to rock.